Alright, our chapter is...
Introduce yourself.
No, I'm going to introduce myself and then I'm going to say the chapter and then introduce myself. Because you want to hook in the reader. Right. Our chapter is triangle trigonometry, which is, that's the entire thing. But our section is 12.1, angles and degree measure. My name is Kincaids, and my partner is...
I'm Will Tate, and I will be filming, but then I'm also going to do some problems.
Alright, so that's I said our chat section. So our concept is pretty much, we're going to say the angles you see, like if we're given 225 angles, 225 degrees, as it says right there, you're going to start with the initial side, and then you're going to finish with the terminal side. And then another one is we're going to name which quadrants these would be in. You see, like, that's in quadrant 2. You understand? Yeah, you got that. And I'm pretty sure you can get a pretty good something of this before I even teach you, because it's really simple. All right.
Make sure you explain the vocab.
All right. I know. All right. So I'm gonna go to the pages. So like zoom in on this. You see that? I think you can like click on it and then it'll like that. This is called the initial side. Like right there. That's what you begin with. And then another one is the terminal side. That's the one that you end with. So if it's like 225 degrees, begin with the initial side, we finish with the terminal side. You got that? You got that? Terminal, no, initial, terminal. Initial, as in the first, terminal, as in like terminal cancer, because you're gonna die. That's the end. There's another example right here. Initial side, terminal, but they did negative. That's kind of weird.
We'll explain that later.
Well, that's a little sneak peek. Alright, and the angle that you make is called a directed angle, which is an angle generated in this manner. And there could be positive angles, like this, positive, because it's positive, or negative, that goes clockwise. Positives go counterclockwise, negatives clockwise. Quadrants, that's another example, that's another word. And then another one is, let's flip. Right here, it's called coterminal. Is that if two terminal sides are coincide at the same point, like if it was -60, which would be 300, and then if it was 300, so -60 and 300 would be coterminal. You got that, Mr. Kisner? Yeah, 150 plus 2 times 360 is something. And then...
Do you want me to explain it?
Will, I'm doing such a good job, Will. I have the first 5 minutes, Will. And I'm going to explain my problems. Alright. That's good. You don't need to explain it. Alright, well. Alright. So, our first problem, I'm going to write it down, alright? So the first one is find angle if angle equals 2/3. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is get this over 360. Alright, so 360 divided by 3 is Will.
What?
Will. Because Will.
Find angle. Its angle is 2/3.
It's 2/3 of a full circle. Of a full circle. Alright, a full circle is 360 degrees, right, Will? See that? 360 degrees. So what's 2/3 of 360 degrees, Will?
Well, yeah. Well, that's your.
It's 240. It's 240, Will. 240
How do you
degrees.
do that?
Okay, Will. So 2/3. All right. 2 over 3 equals x over 360. You want to set these equal. All right. All right. All right. All right. So you times this side by 360, which would be 720 over 2. You want over 3, I meant. And that equals 240 degrees. Alright, here's another one, is estimate this angle. Alright, we're going to begin by drawing 4 quadrants. Alright, so this is the coterminal angle side, this is the initial side. So Now we have to estimate what this angle is, and it appears to be 90 degrees. So we'll estimate 90 degrees. Was that hard, Will? What, Will? Why are you shaking your head? Fine. Now our next problem is that we have to estimate this angle, which is draw quadrants, and we're gonna do it like this. This is the initial, and this is the final. We can estimate this to be at least 30 degrees, and that to be 90, so it'll be 120. But wait, this one right here, it went counterclockwise, like that. So that means it was positive, but this one, well, this makes it's going clockwise, so that makes it negative. So instead of being positive 120, it's negative 120. That's all. That's all my problems. So let me videotape you now. Alright.
So which one was starting with?
Yes,
Problem 4?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're on to quadrants. Quadrants, excuse me, are pretty basic.
Just like you.
Shut up. So quadrants are really simple. This box right here, well, not a box because it goes on for infinity.
It's like 90 degrees.
But this, like, yeah. That's quadrant 1.
Alright.
This is quadrant 2. This is quadrant 3. And this is quadrant 4.
Those don't look like numbers, Will. What are they?
These are Roman numerals. This is what you use to describe quadrants. Got that? Okay. So a good way to remember quadrants is that if it's in quadrant 1, it's always going to be positive, positive. Those are the two numbers. But if it's in quadrant 2, it's going to be negative, positive.
Alrighty.
If it's in quadrant 3 right here, it's going to be negative, negative.
Alright.
And if it's in quadrant 4, it's going to be positive, negative.
Alrighty.
Alright, does this all make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's just a basic rundown of the quadrants. So name quadrant 215. So this can be done drawing a circle. Make sure your circle's round. And this. See the similarities between that and that? You got that?
Yes.
So this is quadrant 1, this is quadrant 2, this is quadrant 3, and this is quadrant 4.
But Will, those don't look like numbers.
Okay, so for our first problem, we're going to name the quadrant that 215 degrees lands in. So for 215 degrees, so we know that this line one here is 180, and this line here is 270. So it has to lie somewhere in between those. What's in between those two? Quadrant 3. Good job, Kincaid. So, 215 degrees. Quadrant.
God, my hands are beginning to hurt.
Oh, Kincaid. I'm sorry, Kincaid.
Let's just get this done.
Okay. Now for the next one, we're going to name the quadrant of 140 degrees.
Degrees. Good job. Good job.
So this is 90 and this is 180. So 140 lies somewhere between those two numbers. So therefore, we can assume that 140 degrees lies somewhere in quadrant 2. Therefore, 140 degrees.
It's quadrant 2.
Good job, Kincaid. You're just on a roll today.
Alright, we got 1 minute left. I'm gonna go film Mr. Kisner. I'm gonna ask him what's his opinion on degrees and angles. Mr. Kisner, I have a question. What's your opinion on degrees and angles? What's your opinion, Mr. Kisner? Mr. Kisner, what's your opinion? Oh, look at that chiseled jawline. Mr. Kisner, do you do jaw workouts? Mr. Kisner, I need 30 more seconds and it'll be 10 minutes long like you wanted. I just need to do 30 more seconds of just filming you. Huh. Let's see what he's doing today. Interesting. Is that a llama? Was that an alpaca? What is that, Mr. Kisner? That looks very funky, Mr. Kisner. What is it, Mr. Kisner? Mr. Kisner, what color are your eyes? Are they hazel? They look hazel.